Hello, 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 friends. It is that time again. It is the first Tuesday of the month, which means it is time for some Double Booked Co. reading sprints. This evening, we have just me because Miss Laura is feeling quite under the weather. So if you can send any happy, good vibes her way, please do so. She hasn't been feeling well for a couple of days and is still not feeling very well today. So we're going to go ahead and do our reading sprints with just me. I hope that's okay. We're going to keep everything per the usual. It'll just be me. Hi, Mary. It's nice to see you this evening. I hope you are well. Let me know what you will be reading this evening. So if you've never been here before for our reading sprints, typically what we do is we do some chatting, we do some reading sprints, and we also go over what the options will be for the next month's books. So here in 2026, we do have a reading theme for the year, which is reading through the decades. So in January, we read Leanne Moriarty's Apples Never Fall, which was published within the years 2020 and 2025. So that was the first decade bunch that we were reading from. And then in February, our reading pick is Lanny by Max Porter, and that was published between the years 2010 and 2019. So that's what we'll be reading for this month. I will not be reading that tonight because I was looking for it as far as if I found it in a digital copy or an audio file. And then I looked for it at my library. And actually in my library system, within all the libraries, there is only one copy and it's in a far away library. So I'm just waiting for it to be transferred. So thankfully, my system has one copy, but I just have to wait for it. So I'll be reading that later in the month. For me this evening, I'm actually going to be, if you can see here, I'm kind of set up in a different spot than you guys usually see me, but I have a puzzle out here. So I'm going to be working on a puzzle. So I don't often get time to do this. So I thought, what better time than during reading sprints? And then I'm going to listen to a book. And I'm going to listen to Edith Wharton's Ethan from I don't know, Ethan from. It's a quick read, and it's also part, if you've watched my Spinelli Speaks channel, you know I'm doing 40 books I want to read before I turn 40, and that's one of them. So I found it on Hoopla for a free audio file, so I figured I would try to get on that and read that this evening. As far as the books for next month, we're going to go over those in just a second, but it looks like for some of us tonight, Andy's going to be reading Lanny. Very nice. Did you read that previously? Is this your second time around, or is this your first time? And then Mary's going to be reading Wench. It's a monthly book for Courtney at the Tangled Reads channel. Okay. I'm at 24%. It does read quickly. Oh, nice. Yes. So I looked on Libby and my Libby did not have it. I put a hold on it thinking it was available, but it said it doesn't know when it's going to be available. So that means my library doesn't technically have it through Libby. Let's see. That is my 26 in 26 TBR. Okay, good for you. That's awesome. Wrote a paper or two on Norton and Ethan from Love Her. This will be, I think, my first time reading. Is that true? I think it's my first time. And I think that's why I added it to the list. No, never heard of this before. The only reason why I had heard of Lanny is because I think it was part of the BookTube prize list of books. So I saw a couple of booktubers talking about it when they're doing that, but I didn't really get a lot of information about it and that was a while ago. So I don't really know much about it either. So once it gets here, I'm sure I'll enjoy it, but I haven't heard much of it. Okay, so as far as the books for March go, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So with March, in reading through our decades, that means that we're in the noughts. So anywhere between 2000 and 2009 for the reading through the decades. And then because it's March and a lot of us read for middle grade March, we are going to read a middle grade book that was written in the noughts. So I'm just going to share my screen here so that you can see the books that I'm going to talk about. The 3 books that Laura and I decided to pick from are all Newbery winners. And the first is, put this up here, and make sure that you guys can see this. Can you see this? Okay, perfect. So the first book in our poll is going to be Good Masters, Sweet Ladies, Voices from a Medieval Village. This is by Laura Amy Schultz and Robert Bird is the illustrator. This is a step back to medieval 1255 England and meet 22 villagers, illustrated in pen and ink, inspired by the Munich-Nuremberg manuscript, an illuminated poem from 13th century Germany. This is Hugo, the Lord's nephew, proves his manhood by hunting a wild boar. Sharp-tongued Melanie supports her family by selling live eels. Peasant Mog gets a clever lesson on how to save a cow from a greedy landlord. And Barbary slings mud on noble Jack. Alice is the seeing shepherdess, and many more. So this looks like it's going to be a pretty quick read. It looks like it's 96 pages, and it was published in 2007. And I do believe it won the Newbery in 2008. So that's our first middle grade book pick. The second is, let me just make sure that you guys can see this. Yep, perfect. This one is called A Year Down Yonder. This won the Newbery in 2001. And this is Mary Alice remembers childhood summers packed with drama. At 15, she faces a whole long year with Grandma Dowdell, well known for shaking up her neighbors and everyone else. All Mary Alice can know for certain is this: when trying to predict how life with Grandma might turn out, better not. And this is by Richard Peck, and it says it looks like it's part of a series. Let's just click on this. A Long Way from Chicago, #2. I'm wondering. So the first book is called A Long Way from Chicago. I'm wondering. So it looks like it has a recurring characters. I bet you could read them as standalones and it would be okay. Guessing they'll be fine. So A Year Down Yonder is the second. And the last one is, make sure you can see this. Can you see this? Yes, you can. The last one is called A Single Shard. So this is by Linda Sue Park. And I believe this one, so it was published in 2001. I think it won the Newbery in 2003. This is Tree Ear, an orphan, lives under a bridge in, I am not even going to try to say that name because I know I'm going to say it wrong. A potter's village famed for delicate, I do not know how to read today. Looks like some kind of pottery. He has become fascinated with the potter's craft. He wants nothing more than to watch Master Potter Min at work, and he dreams of making a pot of his own someday. When Min takes Tree Ear on as his helper, Tree Ear is elated until he finds obstacles in his path. The backbreaking labor of digging and hauling clay, Min's irascible temper, and his own ignorance. But Tree Ear is determined to prove himself, even if it means taking a long, solitary journey on foot to present men's work in the hope of a royal commission, even if it means arriving at the royal court with nothing to show but a single shard. Okay. So those are 3 middle grade picks for the month of March. I will get those all into our voting poll in our first sprint here this evening, so that you will be able to vote on those. And the voting will close on the 16th. So we'll have 2 weeks of voting, and then that will be shared with by the 17th of February. And it looks like all those are pretty decent. I mean, they're pretty short books. It looks like I said, the Good Masters, Sweet Ladies is 96 pages. Along A Year Down Yonder is 130 pages, and A Single Shard is 192 pages. So if you're looking for page length, that's what they are there. And again, that is going to put us into the knots, so 2000 to 2009. And then in April, we will move into the 90s, which is crazy. Anywho, so like I said, I'm going to be reading Ethan Frome, and did I say eating? Not reading. And then I'm going to be putting together this puzzle, which, again, if you didn't see my wrap-up on Spin Only Speaks, so this is what the puzzle looks like. So it's all, like, it's a bookshelf with all of the different genres. So there's fantasy and science fiction, Western. There's like a cozy middle with like a fireplace. There's romance, mystery, thriller, historical. This is going to be really hard. Like I have the border done, and today I'm going to be working on the fantasy one, which is this. So it's like a dragon and then a bunch of books, and then like it has like a little hot air balloon. And so I'm going to be working on that tonight as much as I can. Basically tried to sort out all of like these pinks and purples. But we'll see what I can accomplish. I don't know. Yeah. Let's look, make sure I didn't miss anyways. I've read the first pack and A Single Shard. Good choices. Awesome. Yeah, they all 3 of those are Newbery winners. So they've got to be some kind of good, right? Anywho, so let's go ahead and jump into one of our first sprints. As you enter the chat, feel free to put in what you're reading. We'll do our regular 25-minute sprints, and I'll find a cute little ASMR. I think I found one with like a hedgehog or something. And then we'll read, and as we come back, we'll chat a little bit about where we got in our books and how they're going. I'll put in the polls for our books, and then we should be good to go there. If I've missed anything, just let me know, and we'll take care of that in the next chatty sprint. But yeah, okay. I'm gonna put my mute on, and then I'll put banners up, and we'll see you after our reading sprint. Good luck. Okay. So that was our first reading sprint. I got totally sidetracked, so I'm sorry I'm late a minute. Just working on my puzzle. I did get our poll up, so that is available in our community tab. So if you want to jump over there and vote for our March book, that is available. Let me know in the comments how you did as far as your reading goes. I started listening to the Ethan from spell if we say that right. And it's the introduction. So the way in which it's being told, the story is being told to you from like an outsider's point of view, like it's like a person that is like telling you the story after the fact kind of thing. And it's giving me like Wuthering Heights vibes, like the beginning of Wuthering Heights, where the person comes to the house and like starts to tell you how everyone is and like how it seems really awkward. That's the kind of vibes I'm getting from this so far. So that's kind of cool. I like having like a story told to you. It's an interesting way of reading a story because you're not in the heads of the people that it happened to. You're just getting like the outsider's perspective. So I'm kind of interested. I'm so far so good. Looks like Lanny is the strange one so far. Perfect. And thank you. From. Okay. Thank you. I'm hearing it like, excuse me while I adjust my booty. Like I'm hearing it in the audiobook, but then by the time I go to say it, I want to say from because I'm a weirdo. But yeah, so far so good. Thank you for that information. So anywho, it is the beginning of February. So if you are a reader like me, maybe you started some new books or you're trying to finish up some books that you were reading in January, tell me, beside the books that you're reading tonight, have you started anything? Did you finish anything for the month? What is everyone reading here in February? For myself, I am still trying to get through, and I was going to read this during sprints, but I decided to do a puzzle, but I'm still trying to get through the Poisonwood Bible. I'm about, I think this is like 40% into it. And this is the only, like I only have it either digitally, so like an ebook or physical book. So I have to physically read it. So it is taking me a little bit because every time I go to start reading it, I start falling asleep. Not to say that it's a super boring book. It's not. It's just a very intense read where you do have to focus on what's happening. The chapters are super short because it switches from POVs of these 4 children and then sometimes the wife quite often. So you do get a change in POV, but every time I go to read it, I'm like zonked out, like I can't do it. So this is part of my 40 before 40. And so far, I think it's a 3-star read for me. So we'll see how it ends. If you're familiar, I know you've probably read this before, but this is a book about a family who is doing missionary work in Africa and the dynamics of that, as well as the dynamics between the family themselves. And it's given in the perspective of the 4 children. So it's 4 girls and their perception or perspective of what is happening around them. It's very interesting. I have been enjoying it. I just am having a hard time staying focused. Additionally, this month, in the last couple days, I've been doing a lot of audiobook listening because I've been doing a lot of cleaning around the house, trying to keep myself going. My kids recently have started not doing a midday nap unless they just kind of like fall asleep on the couch because we've been having a lot of difficulty getting them to go to bed at night. Like it's taking a long time to get them to go to bed at night. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe we're starting to phase out of naps. My daughter more so than my son, but it's hard to only have one go down for a nap during the day than it is to have two. So typically what will happen for my son is like if he falls asleep during the day, like if he lays down on the couch with me or something and he falls asleep, we let him. But we've just not been like forcing midday naps. So I've been doing a lot of audiobooks so that I can like try to stay sane. So the 2 audiobooks that I finished so far this month, I read Hamnet, which I thought was decent. It's pretty good. And then I also read what's it called? I just like literally finished this today. It's a John Gwynne book, Shadow of the Shadow of the Gods or something like that. The first in a trilogy. And though I thought it was a decent book and it's pretty epic as far as fantasy goes, I probably won't continue in the series. I just not that interested. But it was very good. If you like epic fantasy and a lot of fighting, then definitely look that one up. Oh, Mary, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. Oh, well, I hope that goes well and take care. We'll see you next time. Oops, should probably take that banner down, huh? There we go. So yeah, so I've been doing a lot of audiobook reading and what else? Oh, I started that Pumpkin Spice Cafe book by Lori Gilmore. It was on my Kindle Unlimited, so I started that. I think I've read 1 chapter, so I have no idea if it's good or not, so don't quote me on that. Then I have my Poisonwood Bible. Ethan Frome. Andy. And I don't know if there's anything else. I think there is. I mean, I'm still reading Serum and Angels and Demons with Laura. I'm waiting for her to catch up so that we're not like a huge gap between us. So I paused on that. And then there's another book that's on there that I like paused on. Maybe I'm just thinking there is. I don't know. I always have like 5 books going. It's ridiculous. So yeah, tell me in the comments if you guys are reading anything good this month. I don't really have a TBR for February. I kind of just do a lot of mood reading. I'm really trying to focus on my 40 before 40 list because I don't want it to get to like May and June and still have like 20 books to read. And again, it's my own challenge. It's not like I'm turning this in for homework or anything, but it is something that I really do want to accomplish, especially because they are owned books. So I want to like get through a lot of my books that I own and like whether or not I'm keeping them or not. So I have been focusing on that. I do also want to read the second book in that spell shop. So I'm looking at it right now, Sarah Beth Durst book. The second book is called The Enchanted Greenhouse. I really want to get to that soon too, because that was such a lovely read last year. So I'd like to get to that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm working on this puzzle, which I'm doing okay on. I'm actually, I've got a little bit of it. I don't know if I can like move you guys so you can see. Good. But if you can see, I've got some of it done. So at least there's a little bit of it done. And I'm keeping going. I've noticed that when I sorted these puzzle pieces because it's all very like purplies and pinks. And then I realized that in the romance section, there's like a purple book. So like I've been having to sort out some pieces that are definitely not meant to be in fantasy, but you'll have that. But yeah, so that's cool. I'm excited that I'm getting enough done. The pieces, it's nice because there's enough little unique things in each piece that you can kind of decipher. Like there's a there's a statue of armor, there's a dragon, there's like 3 different like people. There's a unicorn, there's a fairy, so I have been able to find other things that have made sense. Did the light turn off or something? It looks like darker suddenly. It's weird. Oh, whoa, yeah. Let's not be picking up the light very well. We'll just leave it right there. But yeah, so that's what I've been up to. Again, apologies that Laura isn't here. I know usually we do a lot of banter. We're chatting back and forth. You might find that we're going to do a lot more reading tonight than normal because it's not always super fun to talk to yourself. But anywho, that's okay too. We're here to read, aren't we? So anywho, on that note, I can smell my husband is like burning a pizza. He's definitely, it's like not, it's like burning. I can smell it's burning. I hope he knows there's a pizza in the oven. Anywho, okay, so let's go ahead and get another sprint in here. So that will bring us to 20 after. And just let me know what you are reading and how far you got into your reading. So, yay! Okay, I'm going to mute and put on our little hedgehog and see you after this sprint. Let me know how you did in that sprint. The book I'm reading, Ethan Frome, dude. So, anyways, so the book is about a man who is basically interested in a woman who is not his wife. Let's just say that. So yeah. His wife is like older than him and she's ill. And the young woman who has come to like care for her, he has interest in. So it's like going through this thought process and trying to talk himself into it, which whatever. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, this is only the very beginning, so hopefully he makes certain correct decisions. Other than that, I'm doing quite well on my puzzle. I am very excited. I've gone through all the pieces that I had already had sorted out, and now I'm like going through the others, and I'm finding the pieces quicker. So I'm getting quite excited because I'm almost done. I found one of the end pieces that I was missing. I'm missing 2 end pieces, border pieces in this section. So I did just find one. I only have 1 left in this section. And then I think I have 2 more in 2 different sections. And then the whole border should be done. I just simply missed those pieces when I was sorting. So, but I'm excited. So again, the portion that I'm working on is, so from here all the way to where this like alien UFO is. So that's what I'm working on right here. And pretty much what I have done is like this section. So now I'm working on getting the rest of the dragon and this lady done, and then the hot air balloon. So that's what I'm working on right now. And it's actually, I'm pretty impressed. I love puzzles. I haven't done puzzles in so long. And I had bought this puzzle off of Amazon thinking that I was gonna like all of a sudden like really get into puzzles. And when I opened this puzzle and I started this puzzle, I said, oh, I remember why I don't do puzzles anymore. And it's because 1, you need the space for it. 2, you need a space where no one else is going to touch it, or you need to touch it, unless you have one of those fancy like roll-up things or tables, of which I don't. So I just have it down here. I don't really need this space at this time. So yeah, that's why I have not been doing too many puzzles, is because I don't have the time nor the space for it. But I'm really excited for this one because I love it, and I think I'll end up mod podging it together, and framing it and putting it up on the wall because it's super cool. It's very interesting. Yeah. Let's see here. It looks like Andy's also got a puzzle going right now. It came with a mystery to solve. Ooh, need to finish before grandkids come on Friday. Yep. See, that's what I mean. Like, see, this is downstairs where my kids cannot get to. I mean, they can get down here, but they usually don't come down here unless they know I'm down here. Because obviously it's the basement, so like we don't spend time down here. But if they hear me down here, they'll come down. But I mean, I'm always with them, so it's not like I'm like hiding in the basement ever. A lot of times what'll happen if my husband is home and he knows I'm down here, my daughter will say like, oh, check on mommy, and then he'll let her come down here. Dude, I'm trying to be on my own time here. You're supposed to be watching the kids. It's my turn to be alone. So anyways, they don't really come down here, so it's nice because I can keep this down here, and I know that pieces aren't going to go missing. Because I can just imagine if I were to have a puzzle upstairs, I would never have all of the pieces. They'd all be gone. My son is one of those boys who loves to just like make things fly, so if my daughter's playing with um those magnet tile things, he comes over and crashes them. If she's playing with the Mega Blocks, he crashes them. He's just a monster. He's a little boy monster. Yes. Hopefully everyone feels better. It seems like everyone's kind of under the weather, but I mean, 'tis the season, I guess. Um, I'm hoping that everyone's feeling okay. We have a birthday party for my Nana on the weekend, and I'm hoping that everyone's feeling okay because we don't know how many more of those we're going to have. So I want to make sure that we get to that. So hopefully no one gets sick and no one is sick there. But yeah. Oh, I was just looking, I was online earlier before we came online, and I thought Deborah Harkness, which is one of my favorite authors at this time, she wrote the All Souls trilogy, which is now a series. I thought she was announcing her next book release because there is another book, but it wasn't. She was showing off like a new edition or something of the previously published book, and I was like, dang it. So, and I'm not very good at keeping up with like new books, so usually I find out from either my subscribers, or Laura is a really great reference to books in general. Like, she gave me a whole lesson on John Gwynne today because I don't know. You would think, being someone who reads a lot, that I would be involved in understanding anything else in reading. No, I just read books. I'm here for the vibes. So, anywho, um, yeah. Well, being a one woman show, I think we're gonna jump right into another sprint. Um, because it's hard to keep a conversation going on my own. And to be quite honest, I'm like really having a good time putting this puzzle together. So yeah, so let's go ahead and keep on reading. In fact, why don't we go ahead and just make this sprint a little longer, since it is just us here. So like, why don't we do like, is 40 minutes too long? 45 minutes too long? Should we do 40? That's 15 extra minutes. Let's do 40. So we pretend it's okay, so let's do half up. Well, that's just only 5 minutes more. Let's do 40. So we'll do for 10 after. We'll try 10 after. Okay. Sounds good to me. Okay. That was a longer sprint, yet it still felt short when you are so immersed in your activities. I am about, let's see, where am I in this book? Oh, I'm 75% done with this story. I'm liking it. Like, it's very, it's controversial, obviously, because this man is considering being with a woman that is not his wife. But it's so intriguing because the circumstances that are involved with the whole situation. Um, just considering the relationship that he has with his wife, the relationship that he is considering with this young ward. And yeah, it's a very interesting story. I'm glad that I am reading that. So I'll probably finish that this evening. Since I'm already 75% done with it. So that's pretty cool. Let me know how y'all did. 5-star makes you think a long time after you're done. Yeah, I mean, even sitting here, like my gut reaction is like, this guy, who does he think he is? And then as you continue to listen and you hear more about like his situation and his wife, and not to say that that's a good enough reason to like be like leave or whatever, but it's stuff to think about as far as like his situation and his happiness, her happiness. Yeah, I don't know. It's very like it is like you're saying, you're gonna think about this for a while. Considering it's as short as it is, I might try to re-listen to it again, like where I can listen to it like without breaking. Because yeah, wow. It's a really interesting story. Lanny, which is our February read, is interested to have library book and audio. Audio is well done. It's different for sure. But I am all in now. Good. Yeah, I'm assuming that should be here maybe by the end of the week, if not early next week for me. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be good to get that. It is a shorter read, so I'm not concerned about not having it right away. But I did really good on my puzzle. I only have like 2, 4, 6, 8, and then starting to get so like 8 pieces left that I just have to find of the fantasy portion. So it's been fun finishing that up. Not too shabby, I think. It's been really relaxing to be able to even do it in the first place. So that's been nice. But I think as far as sprinting goes, I think with here we're at about 10:15 p.m. at night. So I think we're going to go ahead and call it a night. I want to thank everyone who is here. And again, I apologize that Laura was not with us, but she is quite ill. And when you are ill like that, the last thing you want to do is be on the computer. And she hardly has a voice, so she wouldn't have been able to talk very much. So like I said, send some good, healthy vibes her way, and hopefully you will see us at the end of the month with our live discussion of Lanny. It is a fast read too. Awesome. Nice. Oh, so you'll probably finish that tonight if you continue. Yes, thank you. I will let her know that everyone was thinking of her. So, anywho, I think we'll call it a night. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with us this evening. And the next time you see us, we will be in our live discussion for Lanny. And that is at the end of the month. The date on that is the 24th. So February 24th at 8 p.m. we will do our live discussion. And then the poll is up for March books. So make sure you vote in that. And then that will be open until the 16th. So yeah, okay. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a good night. I hope you all are well. And we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.